Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to our last episode of Throne of Glass. Not
Fine.
last episode ever.
Fine. Installment. Just that much. Not even that much because there's like so much like the next book. So it's that, which is not very much at all.
All right, and we started this section at what?
44, right?
40. Holy shit.
The king.
Yes, I totally forgot that it was that far. All right, so we left off with Selena and Kale walking down the hallway, and they run into the king.
Mhm.
They didn't know that he was back.
I forgot that he left, if I'm being so honest. I was like, why? Isn't this literally his castle? I forgot that he left.
Yeah, so physically shook her, like very bad. And then they kind of just leave it at that and go back to their rooms and don't really talk again.
Mm-hmm.
Then we switch over to Kale,
Yep.
who is kind of going back and forth and thinking like, why did the king come back completely alone and everyone he left with died?
Yeah, if I didn't trust him before, I definitely don't trust him now.
And there's something he's not telling him, and noticed that Selena looked like a frightened animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's talking about how far she's come. One part I did mark when I was still Kale's point of view
Mm-hmm.
really just kind of like popped in a not really like foreshadowing, it's just like a connection back to Akatar. So I guess there was something brewing, a cauldron that the king had journeyed to stir.
No, I thought that too. I was like, a direct Akatar reference.
Ooh.
Yep.
So then yeah, that chapter ends with him thinking about Selena, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We head into 45 as they are training again, Selena and Knox.
Mm-hmm. And they have it's just the five of them left.
Yeah, and Knox can obviously tell that there's something wrong with Selena, and she has all this stuff running through her head about Kane, and now the king is back, and like what's going on. And then he tries to like make small talk, and is like, "Oh, you enjoying yourself with the crown prince?" And she snaps at him, and he's like, "Okay, I'm a back off." And he actually does notice the scars on her hand.
Uh-huh.
So again, she says, "Mind your business," and he wants to know what's going on because he knows that she knows something because she told him to go hide.
Mm-hmm.
And then she pretty much tells him, "Leave."
Which is wild that he is like so trusting of her that he like does it.
Yeah. So piece by piece, he kind of puts together that she is not this jewel thief from Belhaven. Puts together she was an Enderveer, that she's Arnold's assassin. At one point, he goes, "You're a girl." Like this is how like renowned she was. Like
Yeah, and I think
nobody knew who she was.
but that's probably like what kind of has her or has him trusting her so strongly on this like advice that she's giving. She's like, no, like we're not messing around here. Like there's something bad. And
Yeah.
he's all right, sure.
So then he's like, "Cool, all right." He says, "Rip Kane's head off," and knocks dips, and we don't see him again. So now that there's only four of them, that's
Wait,
who will move on to the duel, and
where
we get
where oh, that's right. We are right there. So I'm anytime now that like real get used, it's like immediate like I get so suspicious when like real names are used now. And I feel like I don't know, names just seem to be like so important in this. And it's like he's known by so many different names and I don't know, that was just something that I was thinking about when he like literally says her name.
yeah,
Mm. Also dangerous because like we're literally around other people that like don't know her. So it's like, are we using our whole brain right now?
well, I mean, you can kind of put together that everyone else already knows, like because Kane knows, and Kane probably told Varen, right? Is he the one still alive?
Yeah.
No, it's Grave. Varen died.
Yeah, it's Grave. Oh yeah, Varen did die. Grave and Renault. That was the other one.
So yeah. Then we switch to Calton. She's drugged up.
And guess what? Guess what else?
Yes.
I made a note there. I made my note way ahead of time, and I said, "Oh, is she getting drained by Parrington?"
All right.
My brain onto it before it happened. I was really proud of myself.
Yeah, the other part, which like obviously we're recapping now, but we've gotten to the end. So the middle of that page, amid the pounding in her ears and her head, the whisper of wings filled the air. Them
Like she's having some
things swooping past him.
Yep.
Okay. So then we head back to Lena after dinner.
Yeah. Back to Caltine for a second. I actually do feel a little bit bad for her.
Okay.
She's going through it.
She is going through it.
All right. Anyway. They're playing chess again.
Yeah, we're back at chess. Of course, Dorian returned tonight. He does not notice the scars on her hand like Knox did.
He's distracted by other things.
Yeah, so she has all of these things going through her head and thinking about Kane and the weird marks and the weird gates and the Riderack and the king and everything. And she's literally just like thinking about all of that while she's also playing chess. And she's like, "Do you really want to move that piece?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then
like she's got her brain in a million different places, and she's still able to like kick at chess. It's just impressive.
And he goes, "No, I'll play like a man and accept my losses." So then they keep playing, and he grabs her hand at the table. And anytime, because they like this is like mentioned a lot, how they like reach, hold it like this, like on the table. How is that comfortable?
Not.
Like why are we holding our hands like that? We're holding hands. And one needs both hands to play chess. I don't think you do.
Not true, actually.
And then she's straight, "Are you gonna kiss me again?" Way to be forward here.
Goes to, and she says, "Oh, by the way,
I ran into your dad."
elite buzzkill."
Yep. And then they're kind of he's like, "You didn't say that to avoid the inevitable, did you?" And she's like, "I just want you to stay here." Which then she starts thinking about all of this and like literally physically starts shaking.
Yeah.
And he comes around and sits on the other side with her, and she is not fine. She says she's fine. No one is ever fine.
Also doesn't want to say that, so then she's like, "Actually, we can kiss." But I don't have to emotion.
Yeah, it's like, "Are you sure you're feeling okay?" So then she almost knocked him to the floor. And then the clock chimed 3. What? So from after dinner until 3.
Just kissing, playing chess.
Yep. And then Dorian had left, and she's already like in bed, terrified.
And it's like, I should have had my sword with me.
She's just worried about staying alive. Then we switch over to what is a dream. And I mark, thundering hooves beat the frozen ground faster and faster as the rider whipped the horse. Snow and mud lay thick on the earth, and rogue snowflakes drifted through the night sky. If we go back to Calton, who had... Excuse me, bitch, where'd you go? Is this a joke? Oh. Pounding in her ears and head and is consistently hearing things. Similar vibes.
All right. I see it.
Selena is running.
And falls.
And then wakes up.
Sleep because Nox left, so they don't have to have a final test before the duel.
Tomorrow, her freedom would be decided. So then, 46, we get to the forest and we're outside. Cold. Dorian had to go for a walk.
Yep.
He needed some air. He was just consistently worrying about Selena.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's just like, all right, it's coming.
Yep, she's out at her balcony doors.
Am I gonna win? Am I not? Is Kane gonna be an issue? Am I better than him?
And she also makes the little note, like, even when she was with her Arabin, no children, no one from Terrasen, which is where she's from.
Yeah.
But the king could tell her to kill anyone. Like with Arabin, she could always like be like, no, I'm not.
Right. Right.
With the king, it's like you do what he says. So now she wanted to stay. Obviously, she didn't want to go back to Endevere.
Options.
So I made a note at the top of this chapter, but this is just like a little reminder for me.
Okay.
You're not gonna make any sense of it, so it's fine. This is another one of those like we're gonna pin it for later, and you're not gonna know what it means. But Catelyn pulled her red cape around her. Just pin it in the corner. You don't need to worry about it right now. I just want to remember it happened.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Um, so they're outside for this duel, which is just dumb. They don't need to be outside. It's just unnecessary. And she's talking about how she's going to poison the wine and um, make sure that she picks the right one,
Very.
the right one to Selena.
Her blood grew warm and glittering has the same energy as her blood turned into, what was it, stars?
Yeah, we're just talking all about the blood. Then we switch to Selena, who is outside.
Mhm.
It's free. And
Too cold.
they did. The king just decided it was outside,
Just to make things difficult.
just to make it difficult.
Actually, that's not true, is it? That's where the portal was. Isn't that why they made it there?
Not necessarily,
Oh, that was my estimate.
because he's just making portals out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It is the clock tower, though.
Yeah, that's why I thought that it was like important.
So as she's waiting there with all the people that are showing up and all the 13 like councilmen or whatever they're called,
Mhm.
she noticed two of them are former people who paid her to assassinate people.
Yeah, which is wild that they're just like there and they're like,
They're like, oh boy. And she's just giving that smile like, hi, to remember me. And the best part, they also paid her to assassinate the same person.
yeah, that was good. That was good.
So she literally gave them a wink and a smile.
And then the king.
And then the king. He Nahemia is also here. She's just
Yeah.
for some reason that like why is she here? I thought she didn't know about this whole thing and thought this lady was
I also
and now she's excited.
her whole outfit was really, really nice. Like the one fellow warrior acknowledged the other. Like I thought that that was really sweet.
So the king rose and he explains, you were taken from your miserable lives to come here and be worthy. Blah, blah, blah. And she does make the point that, like, oh, she says, Kane and Councilman whoever's champion, and my son's champion, and Councilman whatever's champion.
The favoritism on that is just too much.
Yeah. So Kane gets to go first because then he's going to get to have the little break while Selena's going. And then they start, and Kane and Renault start fighting. And she's like, do you think it's poor luck that I'm the one going second? No, definitely planned.
And Kill, no, you'll be allowed to rest and everything. You're fine.
No, you're so stupidly optimistic. We know that's not the case.
Yep. But makes a great point that Kane
Then they,
right side.
yeah, start pointing out Kane's little weaknesses,
Hmm?
and it's over in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Less than 3 minutes.
Less than
Yeah. So, then Selena's up against Grave.
yeah.
Their weapons, and Kale offers his sword.
Yep.
And then Nahemia says, actually, excuse me, take this instead.
Iconic.
Yeah, like, sorry, Kale. Like, I get the whole meaning behind it, but, like, this is for the slaves. This is for Elway.
Yep. That's for the yeah, that was very clever on their part.
So she takes a staff, then she gets ready to get started. Before that happens, she tells Kale that she wants to thank him for making my freedom mean something.
Yeah.
And then the end of this chapter says, "You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, little man."
And then I start recording.
So Grave launches himself at her as she expected, so she whirled away. And then they begin fighting. She pretty much just like takes him out and like that.
Moment.
Yeah, better than Kane. And I marked, my name is Selena Sardothien, but it makes no difference if my name is Selena or Lillian or bitch, because I'd still beat you no matter what you call me. Facts.
Sure.
Like, and then drops the handkerchief.
That was
Can keep that.
Full thing.
So
No,
unnecessary.
so good though.
Ugh. So she's like, "How long was it?" 2 minutes. Better than Kane.
And not winded at all. She's just like, all right.
Who needs the break? And then there's wine for the winners. Okay. And it's to honor the great goddess, Kelton says. It's like, okay. So she takes it. And then they get ready.
Yep.
And they say begin.
And immediately she knows something is wrong.
Immediately she's like, huh?
Like, oh.
She's getting all foggy and weak, and then Kane just starts beating the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And she has no idea what's going on.
Yep. Very, very.
And Kane's like, "You not feeling well? You son of a bitch."
And like, oh no, you're in on it too.
And then she heard Kelton laugh. And then she's starting to put the pieces together that she was drugged. And then she also put together that it was Bloodbane.
And it's what did she miss?
Yep, it's the one that she missed in the test when she looked to the right.
So mad.
So then he's just still egging her on and just beating her.
Yeah.
Until
yes, with her.
On the next page, Kane circled her, swinging his sword idly. His eyes were dark, dark like that portal to the other world. He was drawing out the inevitable predator playing with his meal before eating it. Creepy.
I was so mad. I was so mad.
So the shaft breaks.
Wrecked.
Yeah, and he grabs her by her collar and throws her against the
everything
clock tower. And then we switch to Dorian, who is freaking out on the inside. He knows that something's wrong, obviously, because she's getting the shit beat out of her.
Not normal.
And he's like, "I need to stop it. I need to call it off." But he kind of puts together that he can't stop it because then she'll lose.
I don't think that's even in the like that. We go back and forth between like her and him and Kale so many times, but it's in like one of the late ones.
Nope. So he's just watching her get attacked. No, it says it right here. But if it interfered, they might just proclaim Kane as the victor.
Where? Yep. Yep.
Right after.
Yep.
Sorry. And then we switch to Kale. And he's just listening to Kane egg her on. And then he brings up her family. Yeah. Which is not common knowledge to literally anyone. And she yells at him, "Shut your mouth."
And he just keeps going.
Oh yeah. Right under that wall you built on top of it, I can see it clear as day. He sees all the things that are happening. And this is Kale's perspective, so he's like, "What is Kane talking about? Like what does he know about her father?"
Right.
And then he goes, "What was it like when you woke up between your parents covered in blood?"
That's awful.
Yep. And then he just keeps going on, and she's screaming for him to stop.
She's like,
This is giving her the fire to go back at him, so it's not really working in your direction there, boy. So then we switch back to Selena, and I have, again, this is where it kind of like switched to hallucinations, she believes.
Yeah.
All around her were whispering, laughing, otherworldly voices. They called to her, but called a different name, a dangerous name.
What that?
Ah, who knows? Not me.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
And then she sees Kane, and he's like creepily different in this little
Yeah.
world. His skin is pale and rot. Oh no, that's not Kale. That's just, I mean, heh. That's not Kane. It's just some dude
Just aim it.
who is like rotting and gross.
He's a zombie.
And now we got her hallucinations going, and she's like, "Nope, it's over. I'm dying. Like, I will not go back to Emdevere. Like, please just beat the shit out of me and kill me." And then Kale starts yelling at her to get up. It's kind of giving her that. He's not yelling, actually. He's just.
No, he's just like, come on, dude, let's go.
He could. She could tell that his voice was laced with pain and hope. It's all she had left. So she gets up. Well, she tried to.
Keep trying, because she is like so just wrecked at this.
And she's literally like, it's freedom or death.
Yeah.
That's her choice.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not going back.
And then it keeps switching in between real world and whatever this hallucination is. And he rips the eye of Elena off of her. And at that point, it just snaps. And now she's totally in the other hallucination world. And then we get to 49.
Yeah, 49.
We're back at Dorian, who is still terrified at Selena. And she's like waving things away that they could not see. So it's like they're just watching her like freak the fuck. And there's just nothing there but Kane. No, he's cool.
Nehemia is over here.
Yeah, and she's doing the things. I was thinking we can make it through one episode without a reference. No.
Oh, what were you going for?
What do you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, no, I do. It's it is kind of down dark. And the next part that's coming up, this entire I don't know this talks about Iron Man gives like Goblet of Fire graveyard scene.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I think this is giving Snape saves Harry at the Quidditch match.
This scene, yes. The entire like next couple.
Oh, and like the creepy world,
dark like things popping out and like fighting an invisible war while the actual fight is going on.
I agree.
No, you're absolutely right though. That is spot on. Look at that. It's a twofer.
Okay. So back to Dorian, and he is literally still freaking out. Going to Kale, and he's like, "You need to stop."
Yep.
And they kind of put together that she's just waiting for Kane to come kill her. Yeah. And then we switch back to Selena. He's gasping, and it's a very existential thing.
Yeah, but all right. Light and darkness, life and death. Where do I fit in? I feel like this is important. And I feel like I haven't seen any spoilers, but I've seen the titles of the other, and I have like underworld ruler vibes coming of like, I don't know, there's like some
the titles of the I'm like going through all of them, like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
I don't know.
Are you thinking specifically like with Crown of Midnight being the next book?
Not even that. No.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Sure.
Well, it's that and Queen of Shadows.
I think that was I was thinking of.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
That's why that phrasing just like, I mean, obviously it's like italicized, but I was like, this seems important.
Probably.
Anyway, more and then Elena.
all these doors bust open and Elena sweeps down in golden light.
Which it's even worse. That like it's like a combination of the graveyard scene in God of Fire and the scene in Endgame, when all the portals open and all the good guys are left. Elena on your left.
Actually, it's on your right.
She actually is she on the right? Oh yeah,
He tells her on the
that's true.
for the potions thing.
You're right, you're right.
Yeah, I am right.
Anyway,
On your right.
you're right.
So then Elena starts kind of like going at Kane. So Elena's fighting back against Kane. And she's like, I can't protect you, but I can take the poison out of your body so that you can fight back yourself.
Great.
So then she takes it and she's like, once the poison's gone, you're not going to see me. You're not going to see this world. You're going to go back.
Mm-hmm. And she says, do not be afraid, which is what she tells
her. So we get back to Elena taking all the poison away.
Yeah, and she said, do not be afraid. And that's like
a common theme. That's
Elena's thing is, I will not be afraid. Elena knows.
So then Elena gets her to stand as the poison's almost gone. And then Elena stood. Done. End of chapter. On to 50.
Yeah.
We get to a mark that burned on her forehead in blinding blue light.
Wild.
Back to all of the times that Nehemia was staring at her brow.
You could see it all along.
And then everyone like kind of jumps and looks up and is like, what is on her head?
How she didn't immediately get in trouble for this. Like, whether it's hers or not, that's magic. What else is that?
Yeah. So Selena shot forward as fast as an arrow of Deanna, just like the gift that she received at Yolmith. And then she's fighting back and gets him into a spot move, and I'll spill your throat onto the ground.
Yeah.
And she wins. And just like that, it's over.
Yep.
Obviously, if she wasn't drugged, it would have lasted way less time.
Yeah. I think that this is when I stopped recording. Like, I think that after she won, I was like, okay, I think I can stop now.
Okay. And
I
the
think
king is like, oh, my son's champion is the winner.
Yeah.
Which he's not happy about.
No.
And the princess collapsed. That's your foot. Your pants aren't even up. As soon as it happened, Dorian just charges at her.
Yeah.
And she's huddled on the ground. She'd won. She begins laughing.
She starts laughing.
Now we're into Dorian's perspective.
We're like, yo, she is a doctor. She's in shock. She's losing blood.
So he's like, yelling, needs a healer, and getting someone. And then he's got his arms around her. And Kane is coming up behind her to literally stab her in the back.
Mm-hmm. And Kale said,
he stabs Kane through the heart. That would have been like point for you to like see jaw drop.
Which I think I don't know if it even would like, I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay.
But I think that what was like interesting, I didn't realize that like Kale's never killed anybody before. Like, I didn't realize that was like an important moment for him. Yes. Like, not just for them, but like for him. I didn't realize that until after.
Which, another point, the blood reeked somehow of death and decay.
I literally made a note and I said, this can't be good.
No, this is not good.
Well, I got worried because I'm like, oh no, like, is this, so my immediate thought was, oh no, did all of like the cursed stuff that happened to Kane, is that going to transfer over to Kale? Because the way that Kane gained strength was like killing other champions. So by Kale killing him, is that going to like accidentally like put all that yuck into him?
Okay.
That was my first thought with them.
But
that's
like,
why I said
Kane actually killed the people that resurrected.
I don't know how this magic works.
Nobody does. So then Dorian's like, Kale, and he's just in complete shock of like, what have I done? So he gets helped away by his fellow guards.
Mm-hmm.
And then Selena is still worried about Kale now instead of herself. Yeah. Really like falling apart.
And then also just starts like rambling about what happened.
Dorian's like, I have no idea what this girl is talking about, but she needs some medical attention.
Yeah.
And now he's all upset that he didn't get in there faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the last part here, I got the last of his perspective that he loved her, and no empire, no king, and no earthly fear would keep him from her. If they tried to take him from her, he'd rip the world apart with his bare hands, and for some reason that didn't terrify him.
Drama queen. Drama queen.
This girl twice. Okay, then we switch to Calton. Why didn't it work?
I hit a big ha ha ha.
And says that a little too loud, where everyone else was drunk.
Yeah.
And then totally flipped the script on her, and it was like,
uh-huh.
Arrest her.
That was rough. That was rough.
And it's like, really? Use some common sense. You're not just gonna like announce that you poisoned somebody in front of everyone and think there's no consequence.
She is so drugged right now.
So yeah, so she's screaming that she'll kill Parrington, and she gets dragged to the dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next is the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Dorian is talking to his father. He wants to know what's going to happen to Chaol for killing Cain, and it's a little political conversation here. It's like, what do you think should happen?
The king has black eyes too. The king has black eyes too, and I don't trust him.
Okay. And then they have this whole conversation about, are you going to punish Chaol or not, or honor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wants to know what's going to happen with Celaena, and he's getting a little here as he's talking about it.
Yeah, he's trying to be like, no, I mean, like, she was crying, and like a really good person would have been able to tell the difference if there was poison in the wine, and just trying to make every excuse in the book to like not have her win.
Yeah. And Dorian's a little too emotional about it.
Yeah.
So then he picked up, okay, that's your little weakness there.
Yep.
And then he agrees. He goes, I'll send my contract when I get around to it. Until then, just leave her be. And then he also mentions the comment about how Parrington's trying to hold Nehemia hostage, and that needs to like chill.
Yeah. Yep.
Then we switch back to Celaena.
Wait, before that.
Okay.
I started shipping Dorian and Nehemia here because I was like, I feel like they're gonna be like a marriage of necessity, but then they're actually really gonna like each other. But it's gonna be like a thing where he's gonna do it.
Like,
huh?
Dorian and Celaena.
No.
I guess we already read the end. So
no, Dorian and Nehemia.
Okay.
That's my ship right now.
And what about Celaena? She's just left alone.
No, she goes with Chaol.
Obviously.
What kind of question is that?
Just checking.
Not that she needs a man, but
no man. We're back to Celaena, who is covered in.
Oh my god! I don't know how she's even moving.
And the first person she sees is Nehemia, who's like, "How you feeling?" And she's like, "Exactly how I look," which is shitty. And then Nehemia's like, "I'm not gonna dance around the truth. I saved your life. You're welcome."
She's like so straightforward about it.
And then they kind of dive into the whole like magic she was doing and the weird marks and that sort of thing.
Yep.
That she was the one putting them under Celaena's bed, and she kept erasing them, and they were
her. Which is just so funny.
And then they have a nice little conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're trying to talk about how to go through the other worlds, where they're talking about gates. Yep. And how Nehemia's like, I really don't understand all of it, but I was going around closing the ones that Cain opened, but they're very hard to do. And nobody knows what the thing on her forehead is. And then she's like, she wants to know why Nehemia is really there, which we kind of put together that she was there too.
Fine. She is just fine.
Which we kind of thought from the beginning.
Yeah. But like not in a bad way.
And then they're glad to be each other's friends. And she gives back the Eye of Elena. Yeah. Which they found.
And then she takes a good sleep.
Then we have Celaena another day after this good.
Okay. We're so close.
Chapter 52.
Chapter 52.
Selena woke up another day later.
Yeah.
This time it's Dorian.
Uh-huh.
And he comes in, he's like, "You look even worse." Oh, love to hear that. Thank you.
Right. I was thinking that too. It's like that's arguably the worst thing that you can say.
And she's like at him and she's like, "Well, what's the matter with you?" And he's just like lost in his feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't sleep. She's like, "Come here. Come sit. Tell me what's wrong."
She's like, I'm the one that got like snapped in half, but here, let me comfort you.
And like, what happened? And he's like, "What do you mean, what happened?" Got the shit beat out of you. Like,
Yeah.
and he is just very upset about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then
He's
they
worried.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And she asks how Kale is.
Yeah, she's worried about Caleb.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Last 2 days off. And now he's apologizing that he didn't save her.
She didn't need well, I mean, to be fair, she really did need saving, but not from him.
And she's like, "You don't need to be sorry. If you interfered, you've been disqualified." And then she cuddles up with him, even though obviously it's very hard for her to like physically move.
Yeah. And then he flicks her nose.
Like, what the fuck,
He's
dude?
like, what are you doing? Are you stupid?
I can only imagine what her face looks like cut up and bruised and like whatever, and then you're done.
Like, I've broken my nose before. She definitely had a broken nose here. Yeah. No, ridiculous.
Little full circle moment. Did you actually think I'd win when you picked me up from Envier? I knew you'd win from the moment I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so happy that she's in his life. And then they kissed again.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back to the king with Parrington.
Yeah.
And they're having a little chat here.
Uh-huh.
And then we marked your manipulation of Kelton was interesting. Were you using the power on her?
I was right.
You
I was right.
Yep. But he's
Yeah.
like,
The fact that he knows how to use weird marks is that's not a good thing. It's a very
he
bad
does
thing. But he knows like what they are. He's
correct.
well versed. He's well versed in them. Yeah. That's not good. That's bad.
He probably does know how to use them.
Yeah.
Just don't think he does. So they're like, yeah, don't fear for Calton. She won't remain in the dungeons forever. Just kind of let it blow over, and then we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
So they're still leaving her there for now.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, we don't know exactly what all these powers are. We're testing like the physical and mental powers of them. And we want to try a combo at some point. Stressed, full of stress.
And then we head to 53.
And then 53,
Selena is leaning back in her seat,
which
just
is
like
not safe.
kids to do.
Yeah, it's exactly what every teacher has ever said. Hey, don't do that.
I'm just a little more aggressive about it. Like, they're doing that. I'm like, hey, do you want to fall on your ass?
Yep.
The perks of teaching seniors is uh, I actually fear that I swear at them.
I mean,
I do a little too much.
that's all right. I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Anyway,
She's chilling in her chair.
I mean, she is 18.
It's been a week since the duel.
Mm-hmm.
She gets her doorknob opens again. Not even a knock. The door just opens.
Yep.
It wasn't Dorian or Nadia. The world stopped when Kale entered instead. The world stopped.
Yep.
Oh boy. She almost fell out of her chair.
Yep.
But she was standing in an instant, and
she has no pants on. No pants.
no pants.
No pants on.
He's just kind of like small talk, like, how you doing? And she's like, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's fine. Never fine. And he wants to apologize for not checking in on her sooner. Bro. And she's like, you saved my life now twice.
And then they get into the whole, oh, like, I still remember how it felt when I made my first kill. And that's that. Oh, but yeah, I think that's when I realized that, like, he's never killed anybody before.
And he's just like spiraling because he's like, it was easy. Like, I just killed him. I wanted to kill him.
Yeah,
And
but he kind of sucks. So, like,
yeah, it's understandable. And then he's like, he knew about your parents. Like, how did he know that? And then he's kind of like, I'm sorry they died like that. And then she kind of explains a little bit more, which is always like the creepiest part, that it was raining and she crawled into the
yeah.
rain and then woke up and it was blood everywhere.
That image was awful.
Yep, it's not the last time you hear about it either. So
No.
we will be thinking about Selena laying in her dead parents' bed for the next 7 books.
Incredible.
I think it's mentioned at least once every book.
Oh my gosh. We're just really driving that point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then she's trying to be very like sincere and like thanking him for these things, and he's like, I have to go.
Yeah.
I can't be here.
Yep. Yeah. And then they hug.
Yeah.
Very intensely. And then
she grabs him, and then they hug, and then Dorian's like,
the Dorian walks in.
"You guys good?"
And he goes, hello. I said, oh.
Yep. Okay, cool.
And kills us. Okay, bye. Never mind.
Like, I don't think he recovered very well, and she's like, obviously, and like,
Yeah.
like, what do you expect, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, you looked like you were in the middle of something.
Maybe we were.
And Dorian tells her that she will sign her contract in tomorrow.
In tomorrow.
I was gonna say in the chambers, but whatever. And then that just like clicks in her head, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. She's like, all right, I'm officially the champion. I cannot be with you anymore.
And he gets friend zoned hard.
Yep. It's like going through all of this and gets to it and be like, but I'd like to remain your friend.
Yep. Yep.
Always.
Not a Harry Potter reference at all. And there we go. Congratulations. He's real sad. He's real sad about that.
He's so.
He'll get over it.
54 is several later. Kale's back. And this is his POV, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but here we are. And she pops back into Selena's room. Where's Dorian? Why would Dorian be here? Because he's always there.
Yep. He's just like, well, no longer.
She ended it with him because she's the king's champion and can't be with a prince.
And she's like, oh, smart.
He kind of likes how you said with a prince and not with Dorian. And then you can tell he's a little bit happy. And then she asks him to join. They have a little celebration. The cheers to Selena. Perhaps 4 years with her might not be enough. We're back to Selena. We're back to dreaming.
Dreaming. Yeah.
Here pops
dreaming,
in.
not dreaming.
She's like, what's up? How you doing?
And Selena's like, oh, what? Like after I almost just died? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She does mention a little bit that people forget that Elena was literally like a warrior and not just some little princess that was
damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I did mark on the next page where Selena says, I'm sorry, but Elena goes, you could be different. You could be greater than me, greater than you could rattle the stars.
And she's like, Selena's like, I didn't do it for you. Like, yeah, I did it for my freedom.
For my freedom, and you were just a little caveat. And she goes on that there's people who need you to save them as much as you need to be saved yourself. And then she goes on of her friend, and then she touches her forehead again. And then at the end of this chapter,
blood ties can't be broken.
Blood ties can't be broken. And then she vanished.
Thank
you for saving my life. Blood ties can't be broken. All right, sick.
Well, it's only strengthening my theory.
Is it though?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Last chapter.
And the final chapter.
Selena approaches the throne.
The glass throne. Almost throne of glass.
Almost. Explains that she'll be free. She does 4 years. You're gonna thank me? Yeah. And then she goes through, and he's like, if you fail any of my tasks or you don't come back, then I'll kill Kale. And then I'll kill Nehemia. And then I'll kill every single member of Nehemia's family. And so on. Do we got it? She's like, loud and clear.
Yeah, this was very not good.
Yep. And then that's been decided. She signs. They leave. And then she's talking with Kale. Are you happy now? I may have just signed away my soul, but yes, I'm as happy as can be. He's like, do you want to know what your first mission will be?
Not right now.
Tell me tomorrow.
Yep. And there we go.
And that's the class.
There is round one.
And now do you understand why I've been hounding you to read this freaking book?
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to the other 7.
I know. But you know what the best part is? I have a really great fiance who is fueling my physical book love.
Was your surprise?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in return, I bought him one book.
Oh, perfect.
Right? So yeah, we can get started whenever. It's so big, dude. This last book is a monster.
Yeah, it is. And last 2 before that are the tandem read.
Yeah.
Empire of Storm, Power of John.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We have time.
We have time. It's so pretty.
Yeah. It's really pretty. I haven't like gotten a full series of books.
I don't think ever.
I mean, like this, I don't think ever. Because I would always get books as they came out, like book series that I really enjoyed. Like I would get them as they came out.
Yeah.
So this is my first like real live like box set.
It's so exciting.
No. All right, so yeah. So next is Crown of Midnight.
Yes.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I really liked it. Like I'm really looking forward to continuing this series. I feel like I've kind of made my predictions as we've been going. But I don't even know how many of those. Yeah, I guess my big one that, well, I guess a couple big ones that will like, I guess we'll find out through the series, are my ships of Selena and Kale, and Dorian and Nehemia. Those are my guesses. And Selena having something to do as like a underworld ruler or something, whether that is back to like, I don't know. I have a really strong feeling like zombies. I'm pushing for zombies. And I feel like I had another one and I don't remember what it was.
You definitely thought the whole Luke and Leia.
Oh, yeah. The whole bloodlines thing. Yes, 100%. I still fully believe that.
And then we got mysterious things with the King and Parrington and rings.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got a good start. We got a good start here.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for roping me into this. I'm
welcome.
We are ready for round 2. And that's a season 1 wrap. And we'll just continue releasing things.
Yeah. And we will get started on Crown of Midnight. All right. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah. Read along with us. Catch up. Yeah. Binge read and catch up with us for Crown of Midnight.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Like, comment, subscribe.
How much of that can you hear?
Yeah.
So
We're podcasting.
he doesn't understand. One time I asked him to be quiet, he goes, I can't. I go, you can physically talk quiet.
Actually, like, I will. Promise.
So